The moment Smitty heard Jacob mention the hospital, I could sense what was about to happen. Because curiosity in a situation like this is never just curiosity. It is a trigger. It is a slow burning fuse that inevitably leads to something far more dangerous than anyone initially admits. Smitty tries to play it cool. He nods, he listens, he even pretends to agree with Jacob, but I can tell that nothing Jacob says is actually landing the way it should, because the moment a man like Smitty believes he is close to uncovering something real, something hidden, something powerful, there is no pulling him back. There is only delay, and even that delay is temporary. Jacob understands the stakes better than anyone in that moment, and his warning is not exaggerated. It is grounded in fear, in experience, and in a clear understanding of who they are dealing with. Because whoever is behind Plasma King is not just another shadowy figure. This is someone who operates with control, precision, and absolute intolerance for mistakes. When Jacob tells Smitty that if he gets caught, it will not just be him who suffers, I can feel the weight of that statement, because it is not a threat, it is a certainty. His children, Martin, anyone connected to him becomes a liability, and in this world, liabilities are erased without hesitation. And yet Smitty lies. He does it calmly, almost too calmly, saying that he will not pursue it, that he understands, that he will let it go. But the way he says it, the way he avoids eye contact, the slight pause before his response, it all tells a different story. And I immediately know that he has already made his decision long before Jacob finished speaking. This is where things start to spiral. Because once Smitty decides to investigate, everything else becomes secondary. Logic, safety, even loyalty. All of it gets pushed aside in favor of one goal: finding out who is really in control. And what makes this even more dangerous is that Smitty is not acting blindly. He is not just wandering into the dark without direction. He is thinking, observing, narrowing down possibilities, and that makes him far more dangerous, not just to others, but to himself. I can almost see him mapping it out in his head. The hospital, the connections, the people moving in and out, the unusual patterns, the subtle signs that most people would ignore. He is building a picture piece by piece, and the more complete that picture becomes, the closer he gets to stepping into something he cannot escape. At the same time, there is Leah. And everything changes when Leah enters the equation. Because Leah is not just another player, she is something else entirely, something colder, something far less predictable. And when her anger is triggered, the entire situation shifts from dangerous to lethal in an instant. Her interaction with Grayson is one of the clearest indicators of this. She does not raise her voice unnecessarily. She does not need to. The threat is already embedded in the way she speaks, in the way she delivers her warning about the delivery location, about the consequences of failure. And what stands out to me the most is not what she says, but how Grayson reacts. Grayson is afraid. Not nervous, not uneasy, but genuinely afraid. And that kind of fear does not come from simple authority. It comes from experience, from having seen what happens when someone crosses her, or worse, fails her. There is also something deeper there, something more personal. The possibility that Leah is holding something over him, perhaps his mother, perhaps something even more sensitive. It explains why he does not resist, why he does not question her, why every word she says lands with absolute control. And this dynamic is crucial because it means Grayson is not just an accomplice. He is a controlled asset, someone who cannot afford to make mistakes, someone who is trapped in a situation where obedience is the only option. Now this is where Smitty's path intersects with something far more volatile than he realizes. His decision to infiltrate the hospital is already a massive risk. But what makes it even more dangerous is that he is not just searching randomly. He is targeting, observing, analyzing the people around Grayson, building a list of suspects, narrowing down who could potentially be the one pulling the strings. And then it happens. The moment that changes everything, Smitty sees Grayson meeting Leah in secret. This is not just a coincidence. This is confirmation. This is the missing link that ties everything together. And in that instant, I can feel Smitty's confidence surge because he knows he was right. He knows that following Grayson was the correct move. And more importantly, he now has a direct lead to the person behind it all. But this is also the moment where everything starts to fall apart. Because success in situations like this is often the most dangerous point. It creates a sense of control, a belief that things are going according to plan, and that is exactly when mistakes happen. And Smitty makes one, a small one, almost insignificant, but in this world, there is no such thing as a small mistake. He drops his pen. It is such a simple action, something that in any other context would mean nothing. But here, in this moment, it is catastrophic because it draws attention, and not just from anyone, but from Leah. And Leah does not ignore things like that. She notices everything. The sound, the movement, the presence of someone who should not be there, it immediately puts her on alert. And once Leah becomes alert, the entire environment shifts because now it is no longer about control. It is about threat detection. Smitty tries to recover. He plays it off, acts like he is just passing by, just another face in the crowd, just someone who does not belong to the situation unfolding in front of him. And for a moment, it might even work. But the problem is not just Leah. It is Grayson, because Grayson might recognize him. And if he does, then everything changes again. This is the part that keeps me thinking, because Grayson is in a complicated position. He is afraid of Leah, controlled by her, possibly protecting someone he cares about. But at the same time, he is not unaware, he is observant. And if he connects the dots, if he realizes that Smitty is not just a random passerby, then he faces a choice. Does he report it, or does he stay silent? And neither option is safe. If he reports Smitty to Leah, then Smitty is in immediate danger, not just him, but his entire family, because Leah does not deal with loose ends gently, she eliminates them completely. But if Grayson chooses not to report it, then he is taking a risk of his own. Because if Leah finds out that he withheld information, the consequences for him could be just as severe, if not worse. This is what makes the situation so intense. Every character is trapped in a web of consequences. Smitty thinks he is getting closer to the truth, but in reality, he is stepping deeper into danger. Jacob tried to prevent this, but his warning was not enough. Leah is already on edge, already suspicious, and now there's a potential unknown variable in her environment. Grayson is caught in the middle, forced to decide between survival and secrecy. And I cannot shake the feeling that this is only the beginning. Because once Leah starts suspecting that someone is watching, someone is investigating, she will not wait for confirmation. She will act, she will tighten control, she will test loyalty, and anyone who fails that test will not get a second chance. Smitty believes he can stay one step ahead. But the truth is, he's already being pulled into a game where the rules are not in his favor. And the most dangerous part is that he does not fully realize it yet. He thinks he is hunting for answers. But from where I am standing, it feels like he has just made himself the next target.